Welcome to episode 1 here at PAM.EASTCOAST.LA. I am your host, Pamela. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell everybody you know. Tell your loved ones. Tell your dogs. Your dog have an Instagram? Tell them to follow me. Why not? I have a beautiful, talented actress, producer, writer. She's going to be joining us. We're going to be having grape drink, purple drink hour together. And then we will be going on and on about life, dreams, and goals. So, let me introduce to you my guest, Kirsten, Dwyer. Welcome! Did New York make you stronger as a person?
Oh, God, no, I think it made me weaker. I'm sorry, I left with anxiety and disorders.
Why, babe? Why did it make you weaker?
Well, as you know, I lived across the street from the Brooklyn Hospital, and so the last year was, the news was happening outside of my windows, not on a TV screen. So I was happy to leave. But with that also, I never doubted myself so much as my time in New York. I think, again, one of the cultural perspectives, or one of the things that's very different, like part of the culture in the Bay Area is that people more or less promote each other. And so like I would have a supervisor, and if we were doing a team project, the supervisor would go and be like, and like this project was capable, or like this project came together because of the work that Kirsten did and because of the work all of our team did. And I'm so grateful to have such a like powerful team. And so it's very much like people promote each other and people support each other in that regard. And my experience there was that you don't speak to your qualifications. You allow your qualifications to speak for themselves, or your abilities to speak for themselves, and to have other people promote you that way. Whereas in New York, people are so boastful there. Like they'll sell themselves 110% and deliver 70, if that. And so I'm coming out there where I'm very humble and like, oh yeah, I can probably make that happen. Or like, oh yeah, I can do this. And I just had people look at me because I'm like selling myself short, and they're expecting people to oversell themselves. So they're assuming like where I'm capable of 100%, they're assuming that because I'm selling at 70, that I'm only capable of 40. And it was just like this misunderstanding. And so I go and I guess I was under promising and over delivering at least. But in that same regard, people just thought I was like incompetent and incapable. And I was incompetent as for the culture and how to communicate with people there. But so that was another element. And then also, I guess I just had some very interesting work environments, if we'll put it, where people very much liked those power plays and trying to make other people feel little. And unfortunately, I succumbed to that. And so they made me doubt every aspect of myself and wonder if I was wrong or was an issue, or like it was such an existential crisis, just like everything about me is wrong and how I operate in the world is wrong. And it's just like this. But I guess going through that did in some regards make me stronger, but I still carry that like very strong voice of doubt that I didn't have before New York. And I wish I could get this chip off my shoulder.
We're going to work on that. Just like, we're working on that, baby, because you know how I am, okay? If you fall down, I'm picking you up. You know this, all right? So we're going to be knocking that chip. What's that chip called? Doubt? Bye. Yes. Beat it, clown. You're out of here. You understand? We're not going to have this doubt. We have no time for it. You're going to make it. I keep telling you that. You're not listening. Are you listening now? I hope you are, baby, because you've got a friend. Me.
I love you.
All right? I fucking love you, too. You understand? This is how we do it. All right? So we're not going to have that doubt. And you know what? Today, you don't have to doubt anything, because I know who you are. I believe in you. Devon believes in you. And everybody watching this is going to know exactly who you are, because this is proof. You prove yourself. You've done so much. You're going to continue. And one day, very soon, it's going to be, as we talked about, external, meaning it's going to be on a screen. You're going to see the name at the movies, you know? These movies are internal movies, right? We're just doing our little projects and this and that, trying to get a commercial, trying to, we did the Brooklyn Coven, we did Me, Them, and Us. You've done so many other projects. I know this. But one day, it's going to be external. You're going to be a name. It's going to be out there. Right now, you know who you are. 100 people know who you are. 1,000 people. Let's get 1 million followers. Let's do this. We're gonna do this, baby. I promise you.
Get it.
You know that, right?
Get it. And this is where I wish you could be like a little implant in my ear, and I just had like the Pam motivation. It was just like
you
a
call
tap
me.
tap.
You know that.
And your voice
I
comes
keep
in.
telling you, baby. You call me anytime.
I know. Okay, I'll call you. I'll call you more.
You better call me.
Mama, you can call me.
Call me
Anytime. I like it. I actually missed you because you were you were in Colorado for a little bit. I was like, I feel like we were just talking about you. I'm like, where's Pam? We need Pam. We have this project. Pam would be perfect for
baby.
it. So
I wanted to come to LA when you guys were working on your project recently.
Oh,
but I definitely
that
was in Denver. So I was working. I was on this grind of making money. That's why now the new grind is to make money this way and do things in the arts, in the entertainment, being an entrepreneur, whatever that is. But this is definitely my new goal. Like, I want this for us. I want to be able to be like, I'm leaving the 9 to 5. Thank you. Been there 20 years. It's been good to me, but let's do other things. You don't want to be a secretary. You don't want to be a server. You want to be a little bit of everything, right? What is your goal? Tell me your goals, babe. What's your goal,
so much.
baby?
I'm working towards being a showrunner. Like I definitely have a passion for acting. I love coming up with stories and helping develop the story and working with other people. And then I think I'm very good in the administrative capacity. So being like that line producer, or just being that person who keeps projects moving forward. I do think I succeed in that area. And so with that, just coming up with ideas and continuing to run with them. So I'm excited to be working on projects right now, and I'm excited for my next projects that are going to come. I have a couple ideas in the pot that I've been writing out, and I just need to continue developing them and then just figure out how to produce this next phase. So that'll be fun. It's definitely
oh, I can't wait.
Like you.
I can't wait, baby. And we're gonna talk. And you're going to keep me posted. And we're going to get rid of the doubt. Because you're not doubting this. You're doing this, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
I think when it comes to anything like that, the most important thing is just to, like, when in doubt, take action. When in doubt, like, start writing.
Yeah.
When in doubt, like, call up a friend and be like, hey, like, here's an idea. Let's produce this. Or, like, how can we get this, like, moving forward? Yeah. And just take action.
And keep positive people and supportive people in your life. Right? No clowns.
How can you... Yeah, you can just win when you have a positive group who are championing you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, again, one of the, like, amazing things that we've been so lucky with Devon, going back to him, is that he shared this idea and this dream that he had of being able to create a group of passionate storytellers and bring them together and support them in telling those stories where we can just help lift each other up. And that dream is so rich. And I feel like it's slow growing, but it's like a snowball. At first it's little and it starts to build momentum, but I feel like it's starting to build momentum. And because he's had that dream and he shared it with all of us, he's like given us that breath of life, like, yes, you can do this. And he's made it possible. He's breathed life into all of us, I think. And that,
absolutely.
And hopefully we're going forward and continuing
But
that.
what made you get into the arts? Like, did you grow up around it? Like, is it something that, that that was introduced to you? Like, what made you, like, start your getting into the acting career?
I love it. When I was little, I used to do dance, and one of my first memories on stage, I was 3 or 4, and it was a winter dance recital. And I was one of the few students in the class who was like, yes, I can do the splits. And I just, like, drop down onto the floor into the splits because I was flexible at one point in my life. and and the teacher was like, okay, great. At the end of your number, you're going to run to the front of the stage. You're going to drop and the lights will be on you. And I did that. And I just remember that moment, like seeing people out in the audience a little bit and just like the delight of being on stage. And then I wasn't on stage for a handful of years until like I was 10. And my friend across the street was auditioning for this local Broadway kids show. I was like, oh, I want to go audition also. And so me, my 3 sisters, and my friend across the street and her sisters, so 6 of us, all of us went and auditioned. And I got a part. And that was really exciting for me. It was an interesting moment. My mom called me into the room and she's like, Kirsten, so you got cast. Nobody else did, but you did. And it was like one of those moments as a kid, because I don't know about you, but my parents always tried to be very fair and make sure that all of us had all of the same things and all of the same opportunities.
Right.
And that was one of those moments where I was like, you got to do this. And I was like, okay, cool. So went and did that. It was so much fun. I played, I was like a Mabel character against a Charlie Chaplin. And the guy who was playing Charlie Chaplin actually ended up being my oldest sister Lisa's first boyfriend. I found that very unfair because that's how it was not supposed to be.
Not fair. So you would say that's your first acting role then, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
on Broadway.
Yes, on
and
Broadway,
I love
off,
Broadway.
off.
Like, I love live anything. I like music, dancing, acting. I love Broadway, and I could totally see you on Broadway, babe. Definitely. Are you kidding me?
I think it's important to say it was not Broadway. The show was called Broadway Kids, and it was in Draper, Utah.
Hey,
it was in.
I would have been there. Okay.
Of course you would have, and it would have been amazing. Oh my gosh, yes. So that was really fun. And then I'm trying to think. So my grandma also, she had been a thespian in her years, and she had gone out to New York at some point in like the 70s or 80s. I'm not quite sure of the timeline. And she had tried to open a theater company when she was out there. But the year they opened was a very cold year, and there were blizzards, so nobody came. And after trying it for a couple months, they ran out of funds and they had to shutter up their attempted theater company, her and her partner. So she came back to California and she signed up to be the high school drama teacher in my hometown, Benicia. And so she was there, I think until probably the early 90s. And part of her legacy was to recreate the theater that was there. So I'd been out in Utah. She passed away when I was 4, and I always just heard these stories about her, but I never really got to know her. And then when my family moved back to this hometown, her legacy was there, and I got to go to high school. And all of a sudden, this theater that she had helped create and she had helped like establish the first shows that were there, I got to perform in, and teachers who were there were like, oh, I remember your grandma. And she was like this wonderful person. And it just felt like this beautiful connection that really like sung to my heart.
Like spiritually.
Yeah.
Like she was there. I believe in that.
Yeah.
I think your grandmother was definitely there watching, and then you get that feeling, especially that somebody that you don't know is like, look what your yaya did. And you're just like, this is awesome. That you were a part of something that you accidentally was a part of. That's awesome, babe. I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with my grandparents, so I've met them, but I didn't grow up with them. They're all in Greece, long distance. It's hard. It's easier to go to LA.
Than to Greece. Wait, didn't you end up spending like 6 months in Greece last year?
Last year during the pandemic, I sure did. Got stuck. America was shut down. So my mom is out there, my mama, and I spent the 6 months with her, and it was good because we didn't know what COVID was about, and I didn't want her to get sick, God forbid. And I was like, I'm going to make sure that she's okay. So it was good, and work was good with it, and Thank God everything's fine. But COVID has not gone away, folks. So it's definitely here. And unfortunately, it's getting worse again. And, let's all just try to stay safe. I think getting vaccinated is kind of a good help, but it doesn't stop you from getting COVID, unfortunately. It's supposed to just help with the symptoms if you get COVID. So there's nothing wrong with getting vaccinated.
And you can re-up if you had your vaccine over 8 months ago.
Yeah. Say it.
Is he saying don't talk about COVID
Seatbelts?
because of political
He was
stuff?
saying it's like seatbelts.
Oh, I love that.
Devani's just saying like seatbelts. I say masks are like a part of clothing now. You know how you got to wear shoes and shirt?
Well, I'm saying it's not going to prevent an accident.
Oh, to prevent an accident. It's like wearing a seatbelt.
Save you from possibly dying.
Yeah, but it
They'll
could save you from possibly dying. It's like seatbelts. That's a very good analogy. Good for you, Boo. I should have you in that chair over there so you could tell us all about philosophy of life.
Oh, yes. Do it.
You said do it.
Oh.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you that I seen your IBMB, and
okay.
And I've seen it from even a while back. And then
can you do me a favor? Can you just go on every day? Because it'll help my ratings go up.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's how that works? Yes. I gotta go on every day, and then that way, boop, boop, boop. I got you.
Yeah, go on every day. Click on me. Click through all of my credits, and just circle back to me, and it'll get my numbers.
I'm learning these things. Okay. Well, because I love the quote that your redhead. Tell me the redhead.
A fierce derisive redhead with a secret kind heart, or I forget the exact quote. I should know it. I haven't been using it.
I wrote it. Hold on a second.
No, I play gritty, derisive redheads
with high standards.
Yeah.
A quick temper.
Yeah.
And a secret sweet side.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so how did you come up with that, baby?
Yeah, I was working with this amazing program called Actors Fast Track, and they're all about helping actors develop the business side of their career. So, as you know, a lot of us creatives, we're entirely focused on whatever it is we're creating, and Actors Fast Track brings in mentors who have been in the industry, are successful in the industry, other actors who are regularly booking, or what we like to call working actors. They're not doing the side hustle, they are actors, and they'll help coach people or walk people through different elements of their career. If you're just starting out, it's okay, well, let's see if we can get you representation. Or if you haven't been trained, it's let's get you in class, let's get you your reel set up, let's get your resume and your all of your materials, so you can take that to your to your potential representation and be ready to sell yourself to people who are then going to turn around and sell you to ideally producers and directors. And so with that, I worked with them, and part of their whole process is to go through and what are you cast as? And that was a really interesting moment for me to be what am I getting cast as? And I'm cast as somebody with high standards. So I'll be cast as a young, cutthroat, executive in the music industry who will backstab you. Or I am, I'm trying to think, or I'm also is that bitch from high school who's at a party who still brings up shit and tries to make you feel small. That's your
typecast, babe?
Yeah, that's what it's exactly that. And I think it's so funny because that's a part of me that I suppress so much, and then it just explodes out in person. Yeah. But so with that, it's been interesting though the last little while, and I think too what I've been cast in lately has been leaning actually more towards vulnerability, or these roles of women who are unfortunately like in a really low place in life, so are emotionally distraught, or like probably in very unhealthy relationships, and are just at very dark moments of their lives. And so that tagline, I feel like, is shifting a little bit right now, where ideally I'm in class right now. I'm with the BGB studio and just really trying to get closer to like being truthful as opposed to playing a character. And so with that, in those discoveries, anyway, I'm going down a
No,
rabbit hole. My
no,
whole
I
point
love
is,
it. No, because I wanted to know, like, what is the hardest, what's your most difficult or challenging acting role? That's literally, that it sounded like that's where you were going. I was going to ask you anyway, baby. Like, I
yeah,
would love to know, like, what, you being vulnerable, that's like your challenge, or what would you consider, like,
oh
you know, what's your challenge when you're acting? What would be the hardest?
yeah, I love that. I love that. So there are roles that are emotionally cathartic, which you might consider like that might be the like top level answer to what you're asking. Like, oh, like what's the most challenging? And like one of them was actually like one of the very first roles I did in theater, which was playing Trudy in Betty Summer Vacation. By Christopher Durang. He's an absurdist playwright. Love his work. Check it out if you haven't read it, but there's a particular scene.
Absolutely.
So this is plot giveaway, but there's this particular scene where my character was just raped by a guest that my mother invited into our summer cottage. She met this vagabond on the beach and invited him over for the night, and he ended up coming into my room and raping me. And I cut off his penis and I bring it into the kitchen, and my mom is there, and I confront her. And when I was a kid, my father had regularly taken advantage of me, and she just turned a blind eye. And so it's
Whoa,
all
whoa,
of a
whoa.
sudden like this.
Is that serious right now?
No, that's part of the
Oh,
play.
shit, girl.
That's
I
part of the
almost died
play.
for a second.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're
oh my
clarifying.
God,
That's
I
part of
just
the
want to
play.
make sure, because I am listening to you. Maybe I'm listening too deep, because I was like, hold on a second. Continue
Yeah,
on
no,
with the
this is
play.
a really
Thank
good.
you. I'm sorry. We're back to you.
Yeah.
Back to the
No,
play.
and
Go ahead, girl.
I
I
think
am
it's really
listening.
important that you bring that up, because all of these elements are so dark, and
Oh my God. Oh,
they're very heavy to internalize.
girl, I did
And
not
at
mean
the
to cut
same
you off. I just
time,
wanted to clarify. I didn't know where we were going.
mm-hmm,
Okay, continue. So he touches you as a little
yeah,
girl.
mm-hmm. And so this is the moment where I'm finally strong enough and old enough, and it's just the breaking point to like confront my mom and ask her why she was never there for me. And for me personally, in performing that role, it was um, it was really powerful. And though all of the elements that I just spoke up are incredibly um, life shattering, um, to be able to play that and to help give light to those stories is very. I'm so honored to have that opportunity to be able to tell those stories for others so that we can be an informed audience. Um, but for me personally, I wouldn't say that's the most like difficult role I've ever done. Like that, I would say, like I was saying, is the top level response to that question. Whereas my truthful response to that, the most difficult role I've ever played as an actor, is one that I cannot connect with. So, for example, if I have a character where where they're just like ignorant, and it was like, oh, like I don't know who or I'm trying to think of like, oh, I don't know, like I'm not familiar with this or that, or like just like somebody who's like less educated than I am, or is more ignorant, or just is like very takes up space in a way that is inconvenient to other people. Like those sorts of characters are actually very hard for me to do, because that's so far away from who or how I am in the world. It's so foreign and it's so strange for me that it's very, very hard for me to play that sort of character.
That makes sense,
And
actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that actually makes sense. Like, yeah, I would think, yeah, both of them. I think it's got to be difficult. Going into a dark place, because I'm sure if you're playing like a girl that got raped and was touched by the father, you have to kind of go into a dark place, right? Like in your head, right? Mentally, like you play like like you're smiling right before you get on set, and now you get on set, and now you know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know, it just you, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
To,
did you have to
to
be
like,
sad? Like, were you like did when you acted in that scene of being raped and explaining to your mom why you weren't there
yeah.
for me? Did you have like a bad day offset? Like, does it ruin your day? Like, is it really hard? Is it like, like how they say, like Heath Ledger, that struggled
Mm-hmm.
to play the Joker, right? Because he went into always like a dark place. Because in order to play that character,
He had to be
he
there.
had to
Yeah, I
be there
understand that.
prior to this, like mentally to get to that point of being that good. He had to
Mm-hmm.
be offset, messed with him to be great on set. Did that like
And
affect you in any way?
Um, so I think what you're asking is really important. And I think this is actually one of the biggest differences for me between theater and film. So when you're doing theater, hopefully you're doing a whole story within the 3 hours or the hour and a half that this performance is going on. Your character goes through an entire story arc. And so it's a complete story. Whereas with film, you're you're in character, you're preparing for your role, and it's, it can be anywhere from like a month to a year where you're prepping for this role. And then you're filming on and off days, and it's you do have to stay within that, understand like, where's my character now, where's my character now, where's my character now. So this is actually an interesting thing between theater and film. So with theater, and with this production in particular, it was an incredibly supportive cast, and very supportive crew, and very respectful. And that was really important. Then every night we were doing a whole story, like the character, again, like, this is giving away the plot, but my character and her counterpart end up blowing up the house that they're in, and so my story like gets to come to a conclusion, and like I die in the end every night. So in this sense, I was able to close the book every night and be able to go home and live my life. Though I had those elements there, I was able to like in my mind, when you like flip the chapter and you like close the page for that moment,
Absolutely.
I was able to close the book, and though it was sitting with me, and though it was with me, I didn't have to live in it like you do when you're in film and you're preparing for your character. And maybe other people have a different experience, but also because the next day you'd be going in and you have to start from point A again and tell the story
Again,
again every day, and
yeah.
try to keep it as truthful as possible. And so if I was carrying the end of the story into the next day, I'm not sure, but I was able to like have that close every day and to start again from a point of like, let's go tell this story.
Well, we definitely should get a hotline, like you said, ready. I'll put it up on the website for those that definitely need. Like it's good therapy for people that get lost in their role and can't um, adapt to regular life because they're playing this role and this scene, and they want to be so great at it that they lose, you know, um, their reality. I don't want anybody to ever lose their reality. I don't think acting for me is going to be that serious. I don't want to wake up in the morning and, when you call and I'm in a bad mood just because I've got this scene that I'm going to do. I don't think that's healthy for me or for the next person. So definitely, we're here to support and help each other. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
what's your ideal role, baby? Uh, what?
But you were asking about like what my ideal role
Yeah, I want
was.
to know your ideal role. And I also want to know your goal.
My goal?
Well,
Yeah, so I think with where I am right now for my ideal role, I'd love to play, or what I'm drawn to playing are those characters who start in a place of despair for whatever reason, in a place of despair. And
so
through the
drama.
course of the
You want to be in a
drama,
drama? You want to be in
absolutely
a drama
drama.
film?
Oh yeah, well yeah, like I'm on board to be. I'm so excited. I'm on board with Pascal Payan for next year. We're going to be filming a project, You My Guilt, and I'm the lead character in that. I'm really excited. He's this wonderful Canadian filmmaker who travels all over the world. He just released his most um, recent film, April Skies, in festivals. He's winning awards across the board. He's filming across the world with international ensembles and just like this really really beautiful filmmaker. And so he's also a writer, a director, a producer, and editor. And so he's able to really start with like the seed idea, but he does beautiful cinematography. He's a fantastic director. But he has invited me on board, and my character is, I'm really excited for this role because it is going to demand that I step into the darkness, and I'm
Hell
excited for
yeah,
that, and I
baby. I
trust
can't
him to
wait
help.
to
Like,
see that. Are you kidding me?
yeah, yeah,
Send
and I'm
that
so
out into the
excited.
universe. Send that out to the universe. Making it, making it. We're going to support each
Yeah,
other. Great. That's so great. That's going to be next year, Ben?
yeah, he's a prolific filmmaker right now in that he's like got 6 films, feature films on his docket that he's producing in the next 18 months.
Oh, good for him. God bless.
Right?
Bring your people.
Yeah.
Bring your people.
Yeah. I'll let him know. I'll let him know.
You let them know you have a Greek friend, Pamela, over here in New York, okay? Pamela
You hear that,
Calas over
Pascal?
here. We're doing PAM East Coast LA. We're supporting, we're promoting, we're helping, advertising. We do it all. We do it all, folks.
Get it. I love that. Okay, tell me about this picture. Who made that? I love it.
So I have a whole team set up, and so I've got my artistic, what would you call them? Creative artistic
Designer?
Yes, he's my artistic designer. He is actually my sister's best friend. They've known each other since they were 14 years old, and he is now 30. So we lived in San Diego for 4 years. I have 2 sisters younger than me, so I call them my girls. So when my girls were in high school, they're a year apart. We went to San Diego. I moved them to San Diego, and I asked him to be part of my team because this is also his passion. And on his Instagram, this is what he always, he puts all these. He draws like he goes for a bike ride, right? And he'll take a bike ride throughout. He lives in Chicago right now, and he lives on the north side. So it's very diverse, pretty, clean. And he goes for like a bike ride. And then all of a sudden you'll see a picture like he drew of houses and maybe people sitting in the front. And it'll say like, went for a bike ride on Wicker Park or something. And just drew like a. So I asked him to draw like a kind of like a caricature, I guess you would call it, like an artistic, And so that's what he did, and I was like, oh, we loved it. And he had a little color, so we have a little bit of we're showing like we're in New York, but we're like the Hollywood of New York. So that's the point. So I wanted to show like a little like LA type thing, but like the plane goes to New York because this is what we're about. We are promoting here on the East Coast. We're the Hollywood in New York, basically. We're here for.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. He did a great, great job. His name is Angelo Santos, and he's Filipino, and he's a great artist, and he's got his own vision like everybody else, and definitely I'll have him on the show too. I want to support everybody that's definitely on the team and support you because you deserve it. You're a beautiful person, and it's been such a pleasure and an honor knowing you and working with you, and I appreciate that you put me as one of your lead characters into the Brooklyn
Oh,
Coven.
hell yeah.
We had such a great time. And
You made that role.
no, baby. I mean, I was just like the doo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay,
Nothing's wrong. Everything's
So
fine.
So Pam is like, as you guys can tell, she's like this vivacious, full of life, kind of quirky, fun, like loving, takes care of people. So like my form of, if you will, like making a caricature of that, but then also like playing with these characters that I'd already created. It was just like, oh, like yes, baby, and like writing and like how does Pam how do you speak, or what are the things you say, and just like trying to like write that character. You were so inspiring for, she plays Aunt Tabby or Tabitha.
Yeah.
And just like so full of life, and you were so good at just living that character and just like you just like you were
We had
so
a great
fantastic.
time, and you were the other main character.
Squirrel.
That's you.
We had a taxidermied squirrel, and Pam was handling that squirrel. She got scratched by those nails that you know are full of chemicals.
I had a real rat in my hand. I had a rat in my hand.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was
it was
real.
a hamster. It was a hamster.
It's a rat.
And she got
It's
bit
basically
by
a
the
rat,
hamster.
but we'll call it a
Thank you
hamster.
for
That thing
handling
bit
the
me once.
hamster.
It bit me. It bit me. But I'm all right, everybody. I'm here. I'm here today to live to tell my story about getting bit by the hamster that we had to have for what, 1 or 2 days, babe? Like you rented a hamster. Oh man,
let's not talk about this. About
to let that thing go. That thing is about to go with the rabbit squirrel that you're talking about. They're about to go be friends, okay?
Oh no!
Yes. They're gonna go have babies
Frank.
and have rabbit, squirrel, hamster babies.
They were two boys. They were two boys. They were two brothers.
Brother as well.
But
that's okay.
You were so
good.
And I don't think I told you this, but because I was editing,
brothers could have sex too.
Yeah, but they're not going to make babies. Speaking of, again, there's a help hotline that Pam will let you know about. I'm sorry, that was uncouth. But with that, you were, I never told you this, but when I went to edit, your actions were so consistent that I could just cut back and was like, oh, yep, there we go. Whereas like because I was directing and I was acting and I was editing and I was getting food. Anyway, all those different hats I was wearing, my actions were not consistent. So when I had to like cut for me, it wasn't as streamlined as you. So my point is, you were fantastic. You were so true to the character.
You're fantastic.
I loved you in it. And you were really easy to edit.
Thank God. I want to make it easier for you, baby. That's the point.
And you were loud enough, so we always heard you.
I was loud enough. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, boo. Who was loud? Not me. I'm not loud. Read the shirt, baby. What's it say? Look at this shirt. You tell me what this shirt says, baby.
I'm Greek.
That's right. Nobody yells here. Look.
I mean, you really use, what is that lower muscle in your pelvic called? You really project from there.
Thank you so much. I've been working on these abs, honey. Let me tell you.
I've
been working on these abs, honey. I'm still a little fluffy, but that's all right. They like this fluff. Apparently, fluff is good. They call it curvy these days. They don't even call it fat. I'm curvy.
Oh my gosh.
Not fat.
But like the best thing about it is that you own it so much, and like that you're just so confident and sexy. It's delicious.
Thank you, baby. I mean, I can get it. What's today? Oh, today's Saturday. There's a lot of competition on Saturdays. We could wait till Monday. Monday's
until Bowman gets back.
Monday's like my sexy days, Monday through Thursday. The competition starts on Friday, okay? They got the come fuck me boots, you know, and the fake titties are out. I ain't got any of that.
Nah, it's real.
No, but you are beautiful. I love you. You have a beautiful heart. You have a beautiful mind. You're positive. You have good energy. I can't wait for us to work in the future together, which we will. Don't you forget it.
I've got a role for you. Are you available in September? I just need you for 2 days.
Yeah, anyway. We're going to bring that
Great.
in. September it is.
Talk.
We're going to talk. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you, Kirsten Dwyer, for joining us. You are a gem. I love you. Thank you for Grape Drink, Purple Drink. We had our Americano today. It is early over there. She is in LA. I'm in New York. I am ready not to have any more cafe, but that's okay. I will have my drink right after this. Thank you for joining us. I love you.
Ooh, enjoy.
You're beautiful. Sagapao!